Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to go ahead and start my chapter 5 of my book, which is titled My Story, My Destiny. If you're interested in the book, I will leave the link in the comments. Also, being that I'm going to film this and put it on YouTube, greatly appreciate it if on the YouTube channel you like and subscribe. That helps me out pretty good. I do promote all the stuff, but right now I'm really concentrating on my book. Like I said, it's called My Story, My Destiny by myself, truly, Jimmy Rivera. And this is a softcover version. You can also get it on Kindle. And I'm going to be reading out of the hardcover version. I like to say in my videos that the softcover, for some reason, you'll get it right away in a few days. The hardcover book, it takes almost a month and a half. What I've been told that people have ordered it. So that's up to you, whatever you prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and start with chapter 5. And after that, chapter 5 is when I went to Paratrooper School, Airborne training. And the next two chapters, chapters 6 and 7, is where I'm going to talk about my Vietnam experience. In this one, I skipped a little bit of the training, the first week of training, the second week of training, which is called Tara Week, and I'm going directly into the third week where I actually jump out of an airplane for my first time. So bear with me and take care. The command is given to put on our chutes. It's a long process because of all the safety checks we do to each other. I will check my buddy's chute and he checks mine. The cadre also goes around making sure you have your parachute on correctly. We then grab our reserve chute and attach it to our front. The reserve chute, you guessed it, just in case the main chute does not open. If I remember correctly, we had lined up 18 soldiers at a time. Each group that enters the aircraft is called a stick. If my memory serves me right, I was on the 9th stick. Finally, it's time for my stick to enter the aircraft. We are all scared, but I know nobody wants to admit it. Among ourselves, we are not talking much. I knew this was it, the final test. I have gone this far, and I was not going to quit. We start entering the aircraft, and we all take a seat across from each other. 9 of us on one side, and the other 9 on the other side. We are facing each other. The aircraft starts slowly moving towards the runway. No one is talking. I guess we are lost in our thoughts. I am assuming we are going through our mind the what ifs. What if this goes wrong? Suppose this other thing goes wrong. My guess is as good as yours. One thing is for sure, I was scared shitless. I hope it did not show. We are putting on this brave front. My heart was beating 1,000 beats a minute. The aircraft took off. It was shaking and rocking as it ascended. It seemed to me like it was making more noise than when it was on the runway. The noise was deafening, which made the ascent even worse. I was thinking to myself that I would definitely want to jump out of this aircraft instead of taking the chance it would crash. Finally, the aircraft became stable and maintained a low altitude, heading for the drop zone in Alabama. Even though the school was in Fort Benning, Georgia, all the jumps were done in Alabama because the border wasn't that far from the base. There was an open field where they took the paratroopers for their training. Everyone was still silent and not saying a word. Now, one of the black hats wanted to wake us up and started to motivate us. He started yelling, "Who are you?" We shouted in unison, "Airborne!" We stomped our feet as we yelled this. The black hat continued this process a few times. "Who are you?" "Airborne!" was the reply every time we stomped our feet. Maybe it was my imagination. I don't know. But it seemed like every time we yelled and stomped our feet, The aircraft seemed to shake a little. Now we are motivated and ready to go. In the back of the aircraft is the jump master. The jump master calls out all the commands, giving us ready to exit the aircraft. He shouts out, 6 minutes, followed by the warning, get ready. He's letting us know that in 6 minutes we are jumping out of the aircraft. Jump master opens the doors to the aircraft, the door to the left and the door to the right. Now I started to feel the cold air coming in through the open doors. I remember it was during the month of December, just before Christmas. I looked at one of the guys across from me. I still remember his name, Private Torres. I looked at his eyes, and to this day, I can honestly tell you that what I saw in his eyes was true terror. I could read his mind. He was mostly saying to himself the same thing I was thinking. How the fuck did I get myself into this predicament? But it was too late. There's only one way the black hats are going to let us leave the aircraft. The jump master yells out, outboard personnel, stand up. Then he yells, inboard personnel, stand up. We all facing the back of the aircraft at this time. Then he yells out, hook up. We then repeat his command at the same time, hook up. At this time, we unfasten our static line that is hooked up on our reserve and hook it on the static cable that runs from the front to the back of the aircraft on both sides. His next command is, check equipment. We all repeat the command, check equipment. I don't do justice to what the experience is when we're giving out the commands, okay? I just hope you get a general idea. Then at this time, we are all checking our equipment. Make sure that we are hooked up. Make sure that the reserve and parachute are fastened to our bodies correctly. We also check the equipment for the person in front of us. The next command he gives is, shout out for equipment check. Starting from the guy in the back, he taps the guy in front of him shouting, A-OK. We all do this until it reaches the guy in the front and then points at the jump master yelling, A-OK. The jump master then gives out the 1 minute warning. He yells, 1 minute. Then he proceeds to move the first guy to the door of the aircraft. The jump master is looking at the red light on the aircraft, waiting for it to turn green. As soon as the light turns green, he taps the guy on the door and yells, go! I was in the middle, quickly moving towards the door. I was no longer scared. My adrenaline was kicking in with my training. This was what I always wanted to be as a kid, to be part of America's best. Airborne, a paratrooper. Call me crazy. I did not care. This feeling is hard to describe. It seems like forever to reach the door, but I knew it was only a few seconds. We are trained to react to the commands without hesitation. I feel the cold air as I get closer. The guy in front of me is in the door. Then he just disappears. Now here I am at the door and I see the countryside 1,200 feet below me. No hesitation. I step out. Then the prop blast from the aircraft hits me. The best way I can describe this feeling, this must be what it feels like to be in the middle of a tornado. For at least 1 second, I was a rag doll blowing in the wind. I kept a tight body position just like I was trained. Then in 3 seconds, it seemed I came to a complete stop, like slamming on your brakes on a car. I looked up and thank God, my chute is completely open. As I slowly ascend, I look at the countryside. It's beautiful from here. I imagine this is what a bird sees when they are flying. I look around to see to my left and right to make sure I don't collide with the other jumpers. We are taught to steer away from the other jumpers to prevent the chutes to get entangled. If that happens, your chute could collapse. It will free fall to the ground like a rock. I could hear the black hats on the ground, giving instructions to the jumpers with a bullhorn. I then notice the ground is approaching fast as I ascend. I remember to get ready to use the landing techniques. I prepare for impact. Then before you know it, I am on the ground landing safely. I make sure my chute is completely collapsed. I get up, unfasten myself, and pack my chute in a canvas bag we carry. We load up on the trucks that are waiting for us on the road. We all happy and congratulating each other. 1 jump down, 4 to go. It was a good day. The next day was the same day as before. I got my 2nd jump in, 3 more to go. The 3rd jump was a little different. I exit the aircraft and admire the countryside and was not paying attention. Through the corner of my eye, on my left, I noticed a jumper almost directly under me. I said to myself, oh fuck. I knew if I didn't get away from him, I would be in deep shit. So I reached out to my right and grabbed this nylon cord called a toggle line. It's supposed to help you steer away from obstacles like fellow jumpers, electrical lines, or rivers, etc. By this time, the black hat was on the ground and on his bullhorn yelling, "Jumper, slip to your right, slip to your right." I pulled hard on my risers to steer away from the other jumper. It was too late. The parachutes collided. I bounced off his chute, but the other jumper was still coming towards me. I couldn't get away. We were taught during training to make sure another jumper does not go underneath your chute, or vice versa. If this happens, there's a possibility that the other chute can steal your air, which causes your chute to collapse. If that happens and you fall on the other person's chute, you then have to walk off and hope your chute opens again. You don't have enough time. If you hesitate, your own chute will collapse on you and cover you like a blanket. Then once the jumper below you hits the ground, you will find yourself in a free fall of over 30 feet. Then my luck got worse. My feet got entangled with the cords of his chute. I was slightly above him. I didn't panic. I started kicking as hard as possible to untangle myself. The jumper was unable to help because he couldn't reach my feet. All during this time, the black hat was yelling at me using the bullhorn. Excuse me, folks, that's allergies. Then I got loose. Thank God my chute did not collapse. The ground came up upon me real quick. I hit the ground like a sack of potatoes and knocked the wind off of me because I did not have time to make a proper parachute fall. I was lucky I did not break anything. I am trying to get up and here comes the black hat. He is yelling at me, shouting, "What are you trying to do, trooper? Kill yourself? Now drop and give me 20 push-ups." I was happy to say for the next 2 jumps, I had no issues. The last jump was Thursday morning. As soon as we finished, they had a graduation ceremony right there in the drop zone. They pinned the jump wings on us by slapping them hard on our chests. They are called blood wings if the ceremony is done this way. So the Army now considers us bona fide paratroopers. We are trucked back to the barracks. The next day, we had to report to the headquarters area to get our new assignment orders. Now, that's not the end of the chapter. There's a little bit more. In the next chapter, I will explain how I got orders to go to the school called Pathfinder School, which I never volunteered for. Somebody did volunteer me. And the issue with that is that most of the Pathfinders at that time, 85% of them, were in Vietnam. That's how I wound up in Vietnam. Most of my class, Airborne class, went directly to the 82nd Airborne. Only 13 of us were picked for Pathfinder School. That's destiny for you. You never know where it's going to lead you or take you. And that's the purpose of my book, to let you know, in my story anyway, that your destiny can lead you in a direction that you never know you're going to go to. And so you have to watch the things you say or do, because destiny will take over. So I hope you enjoyed this little excerpt. I didn't do it justice as far as giving the commands, but I hope you got an idea. Again, I'm going to post it. Please like and subscribe my channel. Don't forget, YouTube channel. A lot of people like to post on Facebook, but they forget when they're looking at the video to like. Do it in the very beginning. Like and subscribe so that way I get more subscribers and it helps me out. Tomorrow, God willing, I'm going to talk about my Vietnam experience. I dedicated 2 chapters for it, and I actually can dedicate a whole book. But, you know, I had to put my life in a little nutshell here. So take care, folks. God bless. And this is the Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you enjoy it. I had a good one. I hope you had one too with your family. Take care and God bless.